Yo, what's going on, guys? So first off, I wanted to thank you guys for 100 subscribers. I really appreciate it. I'm going to keep on pushing out great content for you guys. And if you have any questions, join the free Discord and ask away in there. If not, DM me on Instagram. Now, without further ado, this is going to be a video specifically targeted for beginners, and this is going to be a 4-part series. So the next 4 weekends, Saturday or Sunday, there will be a series going on about Breakout and Retest, and eventually we're going to get into why buying the Retest is technically a better probability than buying the Breakout. When buying the Breakout, you have to deal with things like, is volume there? You have to pay attention to the tape and level 2. And then you have to deal with hidden sellers, market makers, and your stops can get hit very fast. Now, if you get in on the pullback, it's a lot different. It's a whole completely different style of trading, and it's what's helped me quite a bit with my trading journey. So I'm going to do 2 parts of the segment. Martin is going to do the other 2 parts, and they'll all be uploaded either to the Discord or YouTube. But my part is right now. So Breakout and Retest. You guys know what a Breakout is. We're going to go through it. This is, like I said, for beginners. The advanced sections will be soon to come. So some of our main points for takeaway is the topics that we need to cover. So we need to cover, first off, what is a breakout? Breakout or breakdown. I use them interchangeably, but I'm going to be really clear and precise with the wording. What is a retest? Some people don't even know what that is in the Discord, and we're going to put you guys into segments on where you guys are based off at your trading journey and how we can help you. But what is a retest? What to look for on either a breakout or a retest. Different kind of breakouts. So this is where it's going to get a little bit more complicated. We're going to have EMA breakouts. We're going to have anchored VWAP breakouts. And these segments are going to be about 10 to 15 minutes long. So yeah, and then incorporating the tape in level 2. Because if you're playing breakouts, that's almost the most important thing. Obviously, you have your levels. If a stock's approaching 130, you need to be able to read the tape to get in before the break. And then you need to see level 2 to see what type of size is sitting there. And if there's going to be any hidden sellers up there. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, this is a disclosure saying that I am not, and Martin is not, a financial advisor. This is used for educational purposes only. And without further ado, here we go. So what is a breakout, and what are the key factors of a breakout? So a breakout is when a stock moves above a known resistance or a critical level. So I'm going to show you guys here with just the drawing. If we have a stock that is, here is the high of day, we go up, down, and then we go above this level. Let's say this is $100, right? Once it breaks 100, we are technically in a breakout. Now, there's a lot of things to look for with the breakout. Eventually, we'll get into it later. Once we break out, we would love to see that retest of that $100 level. So I'm going to keep it simple for right now. I'll try my best to. But a breakout is when a stock moves above a known resistance or critical level. So that's basically, when you're trading a breakout, you're either going to be trading calls, or you're going to be long equity, or long under the underlying security. A breakdown is the complete opposite. A breakdown is when you're going to be playing puts, you're going to be short a stock or an underlying security. So a breakdown is when a stock moves below a known support and or critical level. In short, think of a breakout as when price goes up, and then think of a breakdown of when price goes down, and you're trying to profit off it when it goes down. Okay? So, like I said, this is going to be the first part of the series is going to be high of day, low of day breakouts, 2 examples of each, and then applying them in Thinkorswim and what to look for. Martin's going to do the EMA crossovers, and then I'll do anchored VWAP, the last one. So there's different kinds of breakouts, like I said. So we have the high of day breakout, HOD, high of day. We have the low of day breakout, and that's the 2 that I'm going to be covering today. So the high of day and low of day breakouts is what we are covering in today's video. So the high of day breakout The high of day breakout is of high interest for us retail traders. So retail traders, so that's going to classify day traders. That's going to classify especially scalpers, right? Scalpers love these high of day breakouts because the risk to rewards there, and especially experienced scalpers when they incorporate the tape in level 2. They love it. So strong high of day breakout includes volume. This is the most important thing to trading breakouts in my opinion. And then eventually what we're going to want, if you miss the first breakout, we are going to want to buy the retest. But really hone in here on volume, because we'll go over why that's so important. And volume, a lot of the time, will be able to tell you if it's going to be a fake breakout or not. And that way, you know, a lot of people, especially in the beginning, like, I need to know the tape, I need to know level 2. That's going to come with time. If you really just focus on volume, your price actions, and have a logical stop, it breaks trading a lot easier. So make sure we hone in on volume. So people are asking probably, what is a retest? And a retest is the area that we just broke through. So we broke through $100 on stock TLRY, let's just say. So then we ran we ran to $105 at the peak. The retest is when it comes back to 100 and it holds. And what I mean by holds is it holds on the 5-minute time frame, it holds on the 15-minute time frame, not anything but the 1 minute. The 1 minute holds do not work for me on day trading or scalping, to be honest with you. So a retest is an area where previous resistance now turns support, is where sellers aggressively push down the price of the stock and the buyers have reclaimed their dominance. So it's basically, it's just a basic retest, breakout, and retest. It's basically the buyers have maybe become a little bit exhausted, and they're looking for more buyers to step in at a specific level, so therefore sellers drive the price down. Or else it could be market makers trying to, pull the price down for people to exit and have them take their underlying. So what do we do in confluence with the high of day breakouts? Obviously, this is going to be a whole video on itself, but we watch level 2, we watch time and sales, which is also known as the tape. Next, we have an example here on ticker Tesla. Okay, this is a live example, or not live, this is an example that came, and it really shows us a lot of things, to be honest. So one thing that I noticed right off the bat is that this is a solid day trade. And what I mean by that is, if you look, it rides the 9 EMA all the way up until 11 a.m. So about 2.5 hours of market being open, we are up from 604 to 630. We're up about 5% on the stock. So as you guys see here, where these orange dots are, that is the 630 level of resistance. Now, you're looking at the chart right now, you're probably trying to think, well, I mean, this candle right here looks like we broke, retested, okay, we retested this level here, and then we went up, and I would have been in for a breakout there. What did I do wrong? Well, when you pay attention to this candle right here, okay, when we're going through a breakout, we need to, what is the most important thing? Volume. Volume will always tell the story. And when we go from here down, this is all relatively low volume. Therefore, the probability of a fake out is more probable than a breakout. So, and then obviously if you're in a day trade, triggers your stop under the 9 EMA, and then we go back later in the day, afternoon, so right around lunchtime, right here, we come into that 630 area again. So you got to think of it like this. There was a wall here, people got hit, but the wall stood. There's a wall here, people got hit, but the wall still stood. So now it's even less. So now we're here at 6:30. We have 5-minute candle consolidation underneath it on low value. So before I'm watching this trade, I'm saying I need some volume to step in. 6:30 has to break and the ask needs to hold. So let's see what happens here. As you guys can see on the next slide here, what happens on the breakout candle? Above average volume steps in. And we go from 6:30 to 6:34 and eventually up to 6:40. So when day trading these high of days and low of days, it's important to take in the average true range, also known as the ATR. When a stock is considering taking position on it, especially at the lows, as seen on Tesla tried multiple times to break 6:30, and it couldn't until later in the day. And you have to understand that it already moved 25 points from the open. 25 points on a $600 stock is just about 4.5%, and that's a great day for a stock. Some stocks don't even do that in a year. So keep that in mind when trading. Everything is relative, okay? So what we are taking away right now, especially for the beginners here, is that we need to pay attention to volume, and volume is so important. I just can't stress it enough. So get that stuck in your head: volume, 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 volume. And then there's usually these types of trades are more of scalps than day trades. That's what I said earlier as well, because the higher probability range plays, reversals, or dip buys that are expected is a lot less in terms. And that's what I'm saying. If you pay attention to volume here on these two, there's no trade here. Then we get a spike in volume with no sellers present, and we get a nice breakout that pays. I would imagine this breakout probably paid about 20%, especially if you ran it all the way up to 640. Now, volume, 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 volume. I'm going to engrave it into your guys' heads. So now low of day. LOD is the abbreviation for low of day breakouts. A low of day breakdown are high interest for retail traders, and that's where you'll be playing puts, especially because it's, again, like we said in the earlier one, it's a scalper's heaven. These high of day, low of days, and a lot of people tend to play these as reversals as well on low volume. So keep that in mind as well. High interest for retail traders. A strong low of day breakdown includes volume and a retest. And a retest will be a place where the previous support has just became the stock's resistance. So same exact philosophy to the high of day, just flip the chart around. So, but like let's say stock BABA is selling off into 240. This is the 240 level. It bounces, which is the retest of 245, and then the short play is back at 240 for a continuation down. Keep it simple. What are we going to look for? We are going to look for volume. So let's look at this example. So as opposed to the high of day, this is now a low of day example. This is on the 5-day, 5-minute. So as you guys see, morning dump from 266 to 263 in the first 5 minutes. Then we have a bounce, but we fail to go above the 9 and the 21 EMA. 9 and 21 EMA are great for support and resistance, especially for scalpers. Now moving on, what do we see? We see a bounce and we see a rejection here of the 9 EMA. Rejection, and then it's on watch. Why is it on watch, do you guys think? Because we rejected and we might see a possible move down, as we saw here. So we rejected here and it's on watch, and it's rejecting on relatively low volume. It bounced on low volume as well. So this 5-minute candle is starting to go to approach this 262.5 level, this low of day level, okay? What do we see here? We see a big surge in volume, okay? And volume, when it goes up, is a good sign for us retail traders, because that means not only more necessarily volatility, but more opportunity. And as you guys see here, the 5-day, 5-minute ends up going all the way down to 256, and it never crosses the EMA. So the nice thing here is, with the high of day, low of day breakouts, I love getting in either on a pull to the EMAs, or I love getting in on a retest. So let's just say hypothetically here, when Baba decided to break this 262.5, let's say it dumped to 260 and then was going for the retest of 262.5, I might think about taking a short position here, but it's all dependent on volume. Now we're going to move to toss. I'm going to show you guys a couple examples of what to look for. There's some of these, the market was really choppy today, but we'll go into it and we'll see what's all going on. We can even go into it on a larger time frame as well. First stock we're going to go over is ZM, and you guys are going to say, well, why are we looking on the daily chart? Because it's the same exact concept as the breakout and retest. Okay, this doesn't apply just to intraday, it applies to swing trading, it applies to everything. So as you guys know, Zoom had a crazy year, and Zoom gapped up from earnings back in around 8:31, around this 330 level. We pulled back, but we never got the pull back to that 330 level, and we rallied all the way up to 600. And you're going to say, well, where's the play then for me? Well, the play would obviously be, since we aren't going to get a pullback, you were going to take the all-time high breakout, right? Now we see ZM sell off from 588 all the way down to this 340 level, and that 330 level is where the retest is. And sure enough, what happens here at this 330 level? Buyers continue to step in, and there's a little bit better volume compared to the last 15 days. Okay? And remember, volume is all relative, okay? So, what I'm trying to say here is this. When you look for the retest, you can look for potential reversals. And what I'm saying by that is, as you see 330, now we touched $400 on ZM. So it ran about $60 in 1 week. And you could have got the entry at 330 just off the retest. So, like I said, we saw a spike in volume on the daily candles. We had catalysts with spiking cases of coronavirus, and with all that, we had in confluence with the retest. Let's just try to see if I can find something like JMIA this week that actually moved upwards, so I can show you guys a high of day breakout. Let's see here. It's loading, guys. Give me 1 sec here. I don't think it's gonna load. But anyway, you guys see what I was saying on all the examples here. Just 3 last things is that we're going to go over and I'm going to engrave it into your guys' head. This is really for the beginners. We need to watch volume. We need to chart and have our support and resistance. Chart support. And then 3, the most important of them all, is execution. Okay, so execution is the most important one, because without execution, you aren't going to be able to make any money. You can sit there and paper trade all day, but until there's real money on the table, you aren't going to know what your emotions are. So we just went over basics of what the high of day breakout is, what to expect. A little bit we went into of how to buy the retest. I wanted to keep this really short for you guys. It's actually gone on about 20 minutes. This is for the beginners. The more advanced will be coming soon. Next week we'll start to get a lot more advanced. Martin with his EMA strategies and the EMA crossovers will get really advanced. The anchored VWAP is even more advanced, so I'm really excited for that, guys. And like I said, so make sure you clock in. If you guys are interested, make sure you guys check out the Discord. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. I hope this helped a lot of the beginners. And yeah, thanks for watching, and peace.